Michael Jackson's mum is in court today fighting for control of her son's estate.
Showbiz Tonight's AJ Hammer has more on the Jackson legal battles. Hi, AJ.
Hey guys, what do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about the bombshell today? You want to talk about the fact that we expected this to be as straightforward as it goes. We certainly expected Katherine Jackson to be there, the lawyer for Katherine Jackson, the lawyer for Debbie Rowe. Debbie Rowe herself was not there. We expected that. Lawyers from the estate. You know, it was going to be a court proceeding basically for a judge to do what we expected him to do, to grant Katherine Jackson full-time custody. More on that in a moment. But the guy we didn't expect to show up at the hearing today, Dr. Arnold Klein. You remember Dr. Klein, the dermatologist?
He did the rounds on TV shows.
Yeah, and again, dermatologist and longtime friend of Michael Jackson, who made a lot of news for me, what felt like the ickiest part of this whole story, and something I haven't talked about a whole lot beyond the fact that it has become a news story. But there has been speculation for years, and of course the speculation was rampant in the wake of Michael Jackson's death, that Dr. Arnold Klein was the sperm donor who is responsible, the biological father, if you will, of Michael Jackson's two oldest kids. Well, Dr. Klein has never confirmed that. Dr. Klein shows up at this custody hearing today, and his lawyer asks, not for any kind of custody or that kind of involvement in the kid's life, but apparently said to the judge that Dr. Klein wants some involvement in the children's lives and wants to perhaps assist in making decisions about education or medical care. And the judge said, well, why would he even want to do that? And the lawyer then asked for a sidebar. So we don't know what was said at that point. We don't know if the lawyer said, well, he is the biological father, we can't disclose that. Here's the thing. I mean, this really gets bizarre when you think about it. You know, my guess is Dr. Klein, if he is the biological father, signed some kind of big confidentiality agreement so he can never actually reveal publicly if he is the biological father. But the fact that he was right there asking to help out, and to be clear, the judge denied the request, saying, well, what right do you have? And we don't know exactly the reason given for denying the request, but he denied the request. So there you go. We certainly could have seen something coming, you know, as straightforward as we thought it was all going to be. Nothing has been just straight ahead with this entire saga. Anyway, back to what happened in court so far. They're on a bit of a recess right now, but Katherine Jackson was granted, as expected, 100% custody of Michael Jackson's 3 children. They will continue presumably living with her at her Encino home where they've been since Michael Jackson died. As far as money is concerned, Katherine Jackson had asked for a stipend amount undisclosed. 100% of that amount was granted to her by the judge, and what was being asked for was not revealed there. As far as support for the kids, an amount was requested. 84% was granted for support of the kids, the judge determining that the full amount would have been excessive, again, for reasons we don't have the particulars on. There will be a hearing in October, a status hearing they're calling it, but for the moment it seems like everything is in place and Katherine Jackson has 100% custody of Michael's kids.
All right, so Debbie Rowe, obviously not in the end going for custody of the kids, mother of the 2 oldest kids. The exchange of money, though, AJ, it's just said to be spousal support there, right?
Spousal support for Debbie Rowe. Yeah, they had struck an initial deal years ago, rumored to be somewhere around $8.5 million for Debbie Rowe after Michael and she divorced. And that, we're told, is the extent of any money. So there was no money that changed hands for Debbie Rowe to say, hey, I'm not going to fight for custody of the kids. So there's no money playing there. She will have some visitation. That was agreed upon between the Jacksons, between Katherine Jackson and Debbie Rowe Rowe's attorney, and that will be psychologically supervised. A psychologist will actually get involved and determine how often those meetings should take place and what those meetings should be about. So obviously she is feeling some desire to have a connection in their lives, but it's not about money. Thank goodness, right?
Oh, yeah.
So AJ, what else are we expected to learn, since you said they're on break and they'll come back, and what else should we learn by the end of the day?
Well, they're dealing with matters of the estate right now. Katherine Jackson wants a seat at the table. She's not challenging anything about the will, but you know, the 2 people who are the current executors of the will, apparently there is some degree of suspicion going on between the Katherine Jackson camp and these lawyers, or these 2 individuals. One's a lawyer, one's a music industry executive, and Katherine just wants more disclosure. She wants to see the AEG deal. They want her to sign a confidentiality agreement or agree to confidentiality. If she looks at these things, she wants, I guess, more of an open flow of information. So I think they're going to be working that out. It seems to make sense since Katherine Jackson is, of course, in receivership, or will be in receivership of 40% of Michael's estate, in addition to the fact that she is the guardian of these children now. So we'll probably be learning more about that, and we will have all those details for you guys coming up tonight on Showbiz Tonight. But you know what else we have to talk about tonight on the show? Have you heard about this?
Is it the Farrah Fawcett thing?
It is a
What's going on
Farrah
with
funeral
that?
shocker. Ryan O'Neal revealing that he flirted with his own daughter at Farrah Fawcett's funeral. This is unbelievable. My head's going to explode. What really happened, we're going to fill you in and tell you the real reason behind Ryan's confessions. Ryan copped to a magazine that he hit on his daughter at Farrah's funeral. If you're shaking your head saying, no, that couldn't have happened, it happened. And the daughter has responded, and the daughter said, yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
It gets worse.
Yeah, so tonight, there's your big tease right there. We'll see you at 11
That is a
p.m.
good
Eastern and
tease.
Pacific on HLN.